Thank you. Thank you, Tom. How many people are developers here? Okay, raise your hands, don't be scared. How many of you develop across more than one platform? Oh, great. Well, Adam, from RoMobile is going to talk about a solution that will make your life easier.
It's good to know there are some developers out there, despite all the snap investors. I wanted to tell you about RoMobile's platform. This is an open source platform that we've developed to allow you to mobilize your apps very cost effectively with a great user experience. We want to give you the high level productivity and portability of web programming, at the same time providing you with the device optimization and offline capability of native mobile apps. Now this is the LBS forum, so I'm sure you all care about building native mobile apps. That's luckily in 2009, with the success of the iPhone and other smartphones like Android, that's really what people care about nowadays. Is this on? Okay, so some background that you're all aware of. Smartphone sales are exploding. There are 5 major smartphone operating systems, and now of course there's more. There's actually 86. There's Palm Pre, there's MIMO, and native apps have won the day. This is the LBS forum, so I'm sure that's what you guys care about. Having apps that run on the device, take advantage of great capabilities on the device like GPS. But the big dilemma is, how do you write an app for all popular devices? So I like following other presenters when we're talking about mobile, because those guys have made a better case for the sort of innate diversity of this than I have. So as much as I love my iPhone, it's definitely not going to be an iPhone world. In fact, any sort of reasonable prognosticator, the number of devices is just going to expand. So 6 with Pre, 7 with MIMO, there'll be some kind of Linux pure play thing. So what do you do if you're an app developer and you want to get as much reach as you can? So this is why we introduced Roads. Roads is an open source framework that allows you to write your app one time in mostly HTML and Ruby. So why do we say HTML and Ruby? Some people say, well, HTML, oh, so it's a web app. So no, it's not a web app. They're native apps that take advantage of the device and run locally. Why do we use HTML? It's what everybody knows. There's 50 million people in the world that self-assess as being adept at HTML. There's never been a more widely distributed technology, and that's what we want to let you take advantage of. With the model view controller framework, what that means is you're doing the vast majority of your development in HTML. Those of you that are developers and you've done stuff in Ruby on Rails or Python Django or Java Struts, this should seem very familiar. It means you're doing most of your development in HTML. Then when you need to change controllers, we generate controllers for you that do basic editing of data. But you can, in fact, use Ruby to do that code. And the key thing is we want to let you work with synchronized data that is sitting locally on the device, and we want to make that very easy to do. That's something that our framework does that there's no framework in the world that does. That is all about giving you synchronized data, and of course, exploit device capabilities like GPS, like PIM data, camera, push, SMS, magnetometer, native mapping is another capability that we have. And there's really nothing out there that provides the level of productivity, portability, and performance that's equivalent. It's sort of a historical accident. It's not that we're smarter. There was a whole generation of enterprise mobility that really got invalidated by the rules of the App Store when they said, hey, you can't have something that you download. So things like Google Gears, which is just killed. Things like Adobe Air, things like Flashlight, you can't do it here. So there had to be something called a smartphone app framework. We were the first one about a year ago. It's now a very robust category. There's a lot of smartphone app frameworks. They're actually all good products. We're the only ones that cover all devices, and we're the only ones that do synchronized data. So the two components are this micro framework, which lets you do the vast majority of your development in HTML. It happens to contain the first mobile Ruby implementation for all the different devices. So Ruby developers love it, but we're absolutely not a mobile Ruby company. We actually think you can do the vast majority of your development just using your familiar HTML skills. And then we have this optional sync server, which synchronizes your data from your backends down to the device. Very, very useful for informationally intense apps, but you do not have to use that